All right. Well, welcome back to the Q podcast. We got a very, very special guest here. Glad we could have him on. He is the lead singer and guitarist of the band, rock band. We'll call it alt rock band. Drugs Delaney. And his name is Andrew Smith.
Hey guys, what's going on?
How's it going, Andrew?
Good, man.
Awesome.
Very good.
Well, it's great to have you on. Now, you are from Peoria, born and raised here.
Born and raised.
Yeah. But there's kind of a not complicated, but there's a lot of different parts of the history of Drugs Delaney. So tell us a little bit about the history and the forming of the band.
Well, it started about 5 years ago, and for the first year, we were in another band, and then we decided to move to this band and put me out as the singer. And when we did that, we spent the first year in a basement just writing songs and then recording them. So for the first year of Drugs Delaney, we didn't do anything except just record and write. And then as soon as we got done with that, we set off on tour and just kept touring and touring and touring. So and now, like I was telling you earlier, we got our bassist lives in Wisconsin now. Our guitar player lives in LaSalle, Peru. So we're kind of all spread out everywhere.
Yeah. So how do you come together when you need to either tour or record? What's the process?
Scheduling is really really important now. You just can't like fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing. You have to schedule really well, but it's nothing too weird. I mean, So if we know we have a run of shows or a tour coming up, then a couple of days before, everybody comes to Peoria or whatnot. We rehearse and then we go out and do the tour, do the run, or if we're going to the studio, same principle, Mm-hmm. We have because we've been recording this whole year for the album coming out, so we haven't got to the point where we have to start writing new material yet.
Yeah. But
it'll be the same process of pretty much we just pick a date and go, okay, everybody come here right now.
Okay.
And, just
cool.
It's not that far. Because when I first started trying to tell people that our bass player lives in Wisconsin, dude, they were just like, huh?
Yeah, it's not by the Canadian border.
Yeah, they're like, how does that work? I'm like, same as anything else. I just can't go to her house in 1 minute,
Yeah, exactly. So now, the reason I brought you on here is because of the new album, which is coming now. It's called Circus.
Yes.
And it's out October 13th. So just to let the people know that that's coming out. But what was the creative process behind that when you were making it?
Well, it started at the beginning of the year, and then we've just I always come in with the songs and everybody kind of starts to put their own little footprints on it, you know what I mean? And once we got them to where we thought we liked them, our drummer actually recorded the whole thing. He's an engineer, went to school for it.
Okay.
And he did a marvelous job. I think it sounds amazing. But he recorded all of it, and then we went to a studio in Normal for Eric Nelson, and he mixed the whole thing with me and Nick. And then we sent it off to our boy Logan down in Nashville to get mastered. So that was the whole process of how we recorded it. And
Well, and what's the Nashville connection? If you wanted to explain to people.
The Nashville connection?
Well, with you said you sent it down to the Nashville.
Oh yeah, it's just this guy we know. He does front of the house for like really big country bands, and on the side he loves to master records and handle that stuff. And my drummer actually was one that got in contact with him from a friend of a friend. And he liked our stuff and was like, yeah, sure, I'll master you guys. And when he puts his touch on it, it's a whole new level. I never thought that much of mastering. I was like, okay, I know it's important, and then we got done with it in one studio, and I was like, oh man, it sounds great. And then we had Logan take it, and then he comes back and sends it back to us, and we're just like, just dropped on the floor,
Right.
So
now, if you would, explain a little bit what the genre. What does Drugs Delaney music sound like? Because if I were to describe myself when I heard it, it's kind of a alternative rock that you might remember from like the '90s with a little bit of punk involved as well.
Good,
But just I guess in your own words.
I always like to say alternative rock. Some people throw the word pop in there, which I'm okay with. And it seems like some people just hate that word. I don't know why it's like such a stigma. Like, oh, pop.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, no, I like to write hooks, you
Yeah.
know. But it's definitely nothing screamy. I don't think I scream that much at all. It's just, I think it has a little swagger. It has a little dance to it. Definitely 90s, I'd say. Like, I was thinking about this record earlier, and I was like, man, because I was actually listening to Tears for Fears.
Okay.
Funny enough.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it, I'm like, man, we kind of got the same drums. I was like, we kind of made an 80s pop, alternative 90s rock album with, like, punk and energy. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best way I can describe this record.
Yeah, and I could definitely like just second that it does have that kind of there is a lot of energy with it. It's
right,
it's faster pace. It makes you kind of sit up in your chair a little bit. When
Nice,
yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Now, what is the process? Where have you guys toured at? How far have you gone, and what works for you on the tour?
In the last 4 years, we have literally toured all over the United States except for the West Coast and the Upper East Coast. Okay. Other than that, we've gone down to the very bottom of Texas, like Corpus Christi, which I heard just got devastated.
Yeah.
I heard they're... and that was a weird place, let me tell you that. But I'd still go back. But it was an interesting story there. But and then we've been all the way to the top of Wisconsin, top of Michigan, and the bottom of Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
and everywhere in between.
And everywhere in between, yeah. From Alabama to Tennessee to Kentucky to Indiana, you name it. Like, yeah.
And where do you find these venues, these places? Is it just whoever will take you, or how does that go?
No, we've been fortunate enough. When we first started the band, we were able to get a booking agent. Just from old contacts I had, and then we left him, and then we got this other booking agent who's actually from around here. His name's Nicky Bell, and he handles a lot of different bands, and he's been hooking us up a lot too. And then there's still stuff that I get on my own too, and so it's just kind of a mixture
of everything. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you guys what's the tour looking like coming up? Is there do you have dates?
Yeah, no. October is because we weren't sure like how much PR we were wanting to do for it. You know, like I knew we wanted to do a lot, but so October is looking. I think we have maybe 4 or 5 dates, and they're pretty all over the place. But I know November and December we're definitely going to be hitting it pretty hard and going out, and I know those dates are coming in right now.
Awesome.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Now going into your Peoria connections a little bit.
Okay.
What were some of the things? What were some of the influences you had growing up? Here in Peoria. What reached you? What really really inspired you when you were
for around here?
Yeah.
Just the scene in general.
Mm-hmm.
When I was coming up, it was still really popping, and I think I couldn't be a Peorian if I didn't say Taxi War Dance.
Yeah.
Like Taxi War Dance was, such a influence, I think, on so many people, including Mudvayne, who they helped, and I'd say like Raw Honey too.
Yeah.
Those two, from what I remember, being some of the first bands that were playing original music, not just doing covers. Mm-hmm. And then with my first band, we just kind of got onto the scene and started playing and meeting people, and people just were coming to shows still, you know, and there was tons of music venues to play, especially just downtown.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And, you could bar hop to, shows even if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I'd definitely say those two bands really inspired, but just the scene alone, man, like, it used to feel like a family. Now, not so much, and I get it, we're getting older or whatnot, but, and the youngins don't, they're in that, and that craziness with flashing lights and stuff, but, yeah, I don't know, the older people, man, I think, the scene was, they wanted to hear art, they wanted to hear music,
right.
Mm-hmm. And everybody keeps eking that it's going to happen here, and I'm still waiting to see the scene come back, but I just don't think it's really there anymore.
Yeah, right. Now, where did you take guitar lessons anywhere around town? Did you do anything like that?
Yeah, I did. I took guitar lessons for about a year from my uncle. Okay, actually, my uncle Eddie. He was nice enough to, I think the first song he made me learn was Stevie Ray Vaughan, Caught in the Crossfire.
Nice.
Yeah, just that bass line, doom, doom, doom,
yeah.
doom, doom, doom. And then he soloed over it or whatnot. But he taught me so much about not just playing music, but what music is.
Right.
and it left an impression that I just, it's carried me through the years, I guess.
Right.
The other one I would say too is my old music teacher from Monroe Grade School. I can't Mrs. Renault.
Mm-hmm.
And she taught me one of the lessons that it still just echoes in my brain, and that was tempo is a horse. It's always in rhythm. It never. It's
you're not lurching around.
Yeah, no matter how fast you go, that horse is always in tempo.
Yeah.
And that just clicked with me. You know what I mean? And and so
the horse metaphor.
I know that probably looks so stupid, but it's
You're
the
good.
truth.
No, yeah, I'm sure. Whenever you can take a lesson from that, because she knew what she was talking about.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, she was 100%. That was amazing.
And you still use it today. That's awesome. And now, did you start after those early lessons with your uncle? Were you just self-teaching yourself at that point? Or?
Yeah, at that time, this crazy thing called the internet.
Yeah.
was and they had like all these guitar tabs you could grab. So from what I'd learned from him, I'd learned enough to where I could look at guitar tab and stuff and be like, oh, okay, so that's how you play that song, okay, and just kind of went from there. And then immediately got into a band. Because I really didn't want to learn covers. I wanted to play original music.
Yeah.
I had all these ideas, and me and my childhood best friend Matthew got in a band, and turns out he was a good drummer, but he was even a better singer. So we're like, get behind, sing, and we can find a drummer. And we started our first band. I think we were like 17, something like that.
Yeah.
And
back then, was it like we're gonna make it big? I
thought the tour bus
Rolling
was.
Stone.
I thought the tour bus was coming any day. I'm like,
yeah.
Any day now. Come on, riches.
Well, and I think that's just now more than ever. It's so much work for an indie rock band to make it out
it's so much
there.
work it'd make you puke. Yeah, like just getting this album out and doing the little necessary things that we've had to do, along with like doing our pre-order right now. You got to remember, when you have a pre-order, you have a certain date that you have to ship things by. Yeah. Just little dates like that and being like, oh, we have to be done by this time in order to get this done, connecting the dots, my friend. It's way more work than I've ever done in my life.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, but do you feel you feel good about the album coming out? Is that a relief when this next week?
I cry at most nights. Tears of joy just come streaming down as I listen to it and just go, wow, dude. It's like, it really is like giving birth almost, like you go through so many months of just holding this in and creating it, and then all of a sudden you let it out, and you're like, God, I hope it's not an ugly child. Oh man, does it have all 5 fingers?
Yeah, exactly. Now, where are places where people can find it if they want to get the album?
It'll be everywhere, actually. It'll be all over digitally. As far as physical copies go, I would say go to our website, which is drugsdelaney.net. But other than that, it'll be on iTunes, Spotify,
streaming stuff.
Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, you can download it or stream it anywhere you want.
Awesome.
Yep.
Great. Well, Andrew, we appreciate you coming in and talking about the band and the new album. Everyone, check it out. The new album is called Circus.
Yes.
It's out October 13th, which is a week from tomorrow.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. Yeah, very ominous. That's what you got to do. You got to bring in. You got to get an album, new album on Friday the 13th. Don't go to those scary movies.
No. You need to get Drugs Delaney album.
Get a Drugs Delaney album. Well, Andrew, thanks again for coming in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Relatively painless.